happening right now for a lot of people. You guys are all spiritually awakened. Perhaps some of you are in 5D already. But the reality is a lot of our families and friends, co-workers, neighbors, they're not. They're asleep. They're very tapped into the matrix. They are so 3D that they look at us like we're insane. Right? That's it. So what happens is all of you that are putting in the time and effort to heal yourself and to transform and be in the fourth dimension of transformation, we are pulled back down when we fight with our families, when we fight with our coworkers, when we go to battle with others. And that's what I'm trying to teach people. Stop. Yep. Stop that right now. Because you are only in charge of yourself and your children in my case, but and any of you that have young children. Now, adult children, that's different. You gotta let them be, you gotta let them fly, and that's the hardest thing. And my oldest is 16, so I don't know what any of you are truly going through if you have older children. I can't relate just yet. But we have to create boundaries. All of you, each and every one of you, including myself, because 90% of the people in my life are in 3D. And they don't understand. And they don't even want to talk to me about what I do. They don't even know I have a YouTube channel. They have no idea what I'm doing right now. They don't want to know. It's like, oh, Sherri, she's doing her thing. I think sometimes my husband's like, what the heck is she doing? And so that's the reality that we're in right now. We have to create boundaries so that we are not pulled back in. We're not going back and forth from 4D back to 3D. And then maybe, oh, we got to 5D for a second. And it's constant. And you know what that's doing? It's pulling your vibration down and you're becoming trapped. And then you become your own worst nightmare. Because in my book, I talk about this. The subconscious mind is our friend. And I call the conscious mind our nemesis. And the reason for that is because the conscious mind is that part of you that has much less connection to your soul. It's the primal part of us. It's the fight or flight. It's the part of us that says, oh, I'm going to swerve the car so I don't get into an accident. Or when we were in, caveman period, we're running so we don't get eaten by some sort of a mountain lion or whatever it was back then. That's the part of yourself in modern day that will make you second guess every single decision that you make. And it will say, Sherri, you can't do that. And that was me. About a year ago, I had spiritual wisdom come through and they said, Sherri, you got to start a YouTube channel. You're talking to everybody locally. You need to get this information out. I said, oh, hell no. I'm not going to put myself out there and go on TV, or not TV, YouTube and the internet with all these people out there that are going to judge me. When look at all the people in my life that already do, not my loved ones, but the others, the judgmental ones. And that was hard for me. But I did it, and look at it, a year later, I'm talking to you amazing people, and you're actually listening to what I have to say because you have an open mind. So everyone in this room, guaranteed, is at least into 4D and maybe 5. So it's 5D, that's where the ascension happens. 5D is an opportunity for each and every one of us and each and everybody in the world, because I haven't given up yet on everybody, even though some people it's really hard to have faith with, I know. But people are waking up every day, and I get those calls, and they're like, oh, Sherri, can we talk? And I'm like, yeah, come on. But those are the ones that have been resistant for a long time. So 5D is an opportunity. It's your transformation process has already occurred, and you're going to continue on. And that's where the real work begins. That's when we're able to tune into our higher awareness, to the collective consciousness, to create, to manifest the world that we want. And that is what we're doing right now. That is our opportunity. And I say this to people every single day. Stop paying attention to current events. That is not the world that you want. Do you guys want to have war? No. That's right. If you focus your energy on it, you're only contributing to it, and you're pulling yourself down into 3D. So what everybody should be doing, or I welcome you to do, is to co-create the world that you want to see. What do you want it to look like? I'm co-creating with all of you wonderful people because because there's energy behind it. A future educational experience for our children that will not only prepare them for life, but they will grow up being more balanced, more intuitive, more sovereign, discerning, humble, compassionate, and empathetic human beings. And it will shift the trajectory of future generations, because then their children will grow up in that environment. And then those children's children will grow up in that environment, and there you go. Earth has now shifted into 5D. And that's what 5D is all about. And that's what my mission is here. Part of my mission is, yes, working with adults, but really my passion is with the children. Because I'm creating this for my children, I have to be selfish. Let's talk about my daughter, Aramis. Excuse me. Aramis. She's a force. Let's just say that. She is something I have never seen on this planet. Still trying to figure out why she chose me as her mom. She is unbelievably passionate, driven, focused, stubborn, loving, kind, compassionate, but at the same time doesn't have patience for people. And this is what the school is I'm creating this for her. Because she came to me before I was pregnant with her, and she said, I'm coming into your world. I need you to help me with my life mission. And at the time, I didn't understand what that meant. And I couldn't tell my husband because he would have thought I was insane. And so I said, well, what does that mean? And she said, I just need you to not forget who I am. Never let me forget. And so I would channel her. I need to stop using the word channel. I would communicate with her energetically once a week throughout my entire pregnancy. And she would give me tidbits of knowledge. And I learned more from those weeks of communicating with her energetically than any book I could have read, any lecture I could have gone to, any wise person I could have talked to. I was like, she opened my eyes to the world in a way that I had no idea was coming. And so when she came, I said, okay, Aramis, what are we here to do together? And now, she's 7. She thinks she already runs the world. She does our house. She wraps everybody around her finger, tells everybody what to do. But she's passionate and driven because she's a leader. And there are different types of children. All sorts of children. And they all have their unique qualities. And they should all be celebrated because no child is better than the other. They're just different. And these children are coming into this world with different skills. Skills that, we have to have the leaders, and we also have to have the followers. We have to have the healers, we have to have the teachers. We have to have the engineers, and we have to have the athletes. They're all coming in for a reason, and they all are equipped with certain skills. And these skills are from a soul level. So regardless of where they come from, the children that have been coming in since early 2000s, but more specifically after 2012, these children are markedly different. And I think all of you, whether you have a child or not, you have seen that in some way, shape, or form, whether it's somebody that you meet on the street, or friends, or granddaughter, grandson or granddaughter of someone that you know. These children are intuitive, they're very connected, they're very bright, and their soul, their frequency, let's talk about frequency. Their frequency is off the charts. When I say off the charts, let's say a normal, non-awakened person in the Matrix, going to work every day, not realizing anything, still watching CNN, triple jab, wearing 3 masks and a face shield.
And goggles.
And face on, yeah. Their frequency is very low, 100, 200, maybe 300. These children coming in, 800, 900. Their vibration is so high that their bodies can't even withstand it. And they channel it in different ways. So my daughter gets very frustrated and agitated because she has more energy than she knows what to do with it. She thinks 17 steps ahead of everyone else. So she's tripping over herself because she's in her mind doing many things at the same time. Other children recluse because they don't understand it. So they become very introverted, they're shy. A lot of them don't want to play with other kids because they don't understand children. This is their first time on this planet. I don't want to play with toys. I want to help Dad build something, or I want to take the vacuum cleaner apart. I can't tell you how many kids or parents that I've talked to where the kids take apart the vacuum cleaner. I don't know what it is with the vacuum cleaner, but the kids love it. Because they're innovative, they're intelligent, they're intellectual. So they need to be stimulated in a different way than previous generations were kind of a little bit more laid back. Not so high pace, not so high vibration, so they were a little bit more, they were less driven. Not all, but a lot of them were. Because what happens is these children come out into this world with what I believe, and people disagree with me, that's okay, but they come out with a clean slate, especially the newer generations, because there's no karma anymore. That has been taken away. There's no more karma, there's no more reincarnation in the karmic wheel. That has been stopped. So the children that are coming now are not here to learn anything. They're here to help us. They're here to teach and to guide, so their life purpose is very different. So they come in driven and they're ready to work. They're ready to be older than they are. They want to teach other children. They're inspiring the parents and the teachers at the school and everyone around them because they have so much wisdom. And we need to provide opportunities and facilities that can handle and understand them. There will be no more labels of ADHD, Asperger's, hyperactivity. I mean, all the ADHD. Gone. 5 years. You guys can write it down. Sherri said it today, whatever the date is. It will not. People will no longer be using those terms because we are in a 3D is about placing people in boxes. Everybody has to follow the person in front of them. A lot of people call it sheeple. It's a derived system of power and control. And if you get out of that, and if you're different in any way, you are made fun of, you're told that you have behavioral issues, and all of the parents of older generational children probably have been told their child has behavioral issues or is autistic or has ADHD, something. And what they don't understand is that they're looking at it from a 3D perspective, but these children are not in 3D. They're coming in 5D. So they're high frequency and it's all energy. It's all energetic. Their bodies work differently, they process energy differently, and they're labeled these things because people can't figure out where to place them. So they create another category, and now they're outcasted. And that has to change. So the Aramis Creative Learning Centers are going to foster an environment where these children can be themselves without being labeled, without being judged, and then that way they're free to just learn and grow at their own pace and do the things that make them, fill them with joy. I can't tell you how many times my son Skylar, he's 9. It's like, Mom, why am I learning this right now? When am I ever going to do this later? And I say, you know what, Skylar? You're not going to use this later. I don't tell I shouldn't even be saying this in front of my husband. I'm like, don't do your homework, it's okay. You know? You're not going to use this later. They're just giving you things to follow orders, to memorize, to give you all these standardized testing so that the university level can control you. And it's all about getting everybody indoctrinated in the system. That's crazy. And that's going away. Yeah, I think everybody's ready for that. Exactly, yeah. And you know what? The children are the ones telling us. A lot of my clients that are parents contact me because they're saying, Sherri, my child is refusing to go to school. My child is refusing to do this. My child is saying that the education system is wrong. They're 4 years old, 5 years old. Like, where does this come from? They don't hear mom and dad talking about it. They are the change. And they're letting parents know that there is a need for change and what that change needs to be. I just so happen to be the fisherman that caught all of that. And I've got all this information in here, and now I'm trying to figure out, okay, how can we foster an environment that caters to them, as opposed to the current system where they are made to follow a certain line, and if they veer out from it, then something is wrong with them, and that's not the case. So we have to shift our